Oh, okay. Hello there. I know this is primarily going to be a video that I just leave up, so I'm not gonna be waiting for people. Not. But anyways, so RWBY Volume 6, Chapter 12. That was an interesting episode. For one, I recorded a reaction to it. It will be up on my other channel. This is my second, if you really want to call it, though I probably will eventually branch off with this one to not even consider that. But I just wanted to talk about the chapter and how shocked I was. Shocked in some aspects, not shocked in others, really. And I want to kind of follow chronological order. So with me is the episode. But I can't play that here, and I wouldn't do that to Rooster Teeth, even if it let me. So always remember to watch it for yourself on the Rooster Teeth site, because it's amazing, and you should just always watch it. I don't know. You can tell I'm on a little tangent. I had little sleep because of videos and just in general, but sorry. The opening's playing. I want to skip through this properly and not just go through it. Anyways, though. So yeah, we start off with the mech fight with Cordovan. Cordovan, this is bad, like in general, but spoilers, obviously. I forgot to put that in the title, but spoilers. Oh, yeah. So the guards are cheering on Cordovan like, you got this, and there's just a beeping on the radar, which obviously means something bad, but they're not paying attention. Like, can they be doing their job in that second? Like, where's the one person to be like, hey guys, you know, like, something towards the end shows that they do notice it, but it's like, what if someone was there in that instant? So like maybe before Cordovan even gets to do much anymore, or before RWBY gets to enact a plan that gets brought up by Oscar, you know, maybe they would have got this solution. Maybe there would have been like answers to a problem instead of what ultimately happens. And last time it ended with RWBY kind of hanging off of the cliff. We're good. Within all things, RWBY gets back up, safe and sound, and I'm just happy about that. But yeah, Oscar asks them, but it's yeah, John's having some problems with the situation, and I didn't think about this till afterwards, and I watched some people's like I read some of the comments. Some people brought this up. So in this moment, at the very beginning, we know that John's aura's down. Nora's is probably down. So it's like, yikes. And we don't know how much aura everyone else will have. And currently the plan they're going with is to have RWBY stare down the barrel of the gun so she can shoot the bombs and have it go off. And it's just like, oh yeah, and Kroos tries to stop it. He's not like super like strong, but he's like, what are you doing? Like, wait. He's like reaching out. And that was a cool touch. But Maria doesn't know this, and Cordovan 100% should have still pressed the answer call. But they were trying to call Cordovan, but she just let herself be taunted by Maria. Oscar says it right. He's like, are you two crazy? They 100% are. It's like, what the heck? But, and then Cordovan's not stupid. Completely. She catches on to their plan and pulls it down. They don't get that shot off. Which leads to this next little bit where they get shot down. So that was an instant amount of fear there for me. Once again, through other people's reactions, I get to hear many people's thoughts on situations. And it was like some people were like, I'm kind of glad that it didn't go so well the first time, because it would have been like, what? And then later on, there's another scene where it's like, if that would have worked, I would have been like, that's BS, you know? And I can kind of see where that side of it's coming from. I was just happy, you know, everyone was alive. But then I was also angry because I was like, Cordovan, you stupid. But I was also like, you know, some of us taunted her too. But it's just like, why do you have to let yourself get taunted so easily? But going forward, RWBY seems to have taken a bit of a beating. Maria's eyes are fried. And Cordovan showing that she's like, animals, not even animals can, I forget the line, and it was just said. But she was pretty much saying, like, the intellect of man is stronger than most. Crow is trying to stop her from RWBY from doing anything stupid, but she's just like, trust me. Which Crow seems to recognize, and yeah, a lot of people could definitely see it as, like, maybe he was like Summer. Like, he was kind of seeing RWBY like her mom in that moment, but we don't have confirmation on that, obviously. But, you know, we can take a hint on that, or just in general, it's like my niece is going off to doing something crazy. And RWBY standing her ground. In her speech this time, she's like, we didn't want to steal from you. You just gave us no other option. You wouldn't listen. And this is where I'm about to go on a little tangent. Some people in the comments, I didn't find this out until I watched someone's video. Some people are like comparing Adam's motivations, like some of what Adam is doing, with some of what Team RWBY is currently doing. Yeah, Adam, you could say, is who he is because humans, well, for one, he has a brand on his eye. Okay, he was branded by the Schnee Dust Company. So, you know, automatically it's like, oh, that could be a big pointer. That could be a big reason why he thinks like this. But then he's also like, because no one's listening, so we're going to make them listen. But here's the thing. He did that through violence and through trying to get attention. RWBY here, like, their honest goal was get out of there without a cinch. No one needed to know that. And if they did, hopefully all of the situation would have been sorted out by then. So it wouldn't have been a problem. It wouldn't have been bad. So that's already two different things. Adam was perfectly content and okay with getting into fights and ultimately killing off whoever his opponent was. Team RWBY isn't about killing and, like, starting huge conflicts. It's just ultimately what happened this time because they were caught because of Adam. Just something I wanted to point out because I did read it and I was like, okay. A little bit of nitpicking, but I can understand it. And RWBY right here was like, hear us out. And some people were like, man, she's stupid if she thought that was going to work. But the scene follows this immediately. She kind of was like, oh, Cordovan's not going to listen because she had a plan for this. And you know, if Nora calls someone crazy, it probably means they're crazy. Because she goes straight into that barrel with that dust loading. Well, nuts. But, you know, that's what Nora's saying. But yeah, that was genius. You know, if you can't get the missiles that come out, why don't you get the dust that's locked in? And so that's exactly what RWBY does. And that was amazing. And when I realized she was doing it, I was both excited, ecstatic, and terrified at the same time. It was a mixture of emotions. And she lost her aura here. But Weiss with the save of, like, gravity, like, just keeping her there. She's exhausted now. Crow got RWBY. Yeah. Overall, the scene was great. It's just... it was nerve-wracking in the moment in time. For sure. And Maria... oh, don't tell me I missed it. Maria just getting her eyes fixed, and then when she says that, her eye... oh, we're getting into the Adam part. I like what Blake's saying during the beginning of the fight. She's like, I now have people who actually care about me. Now, some people are going to go about this and be like, what do you mean Adam doesn't care about you? Or what do you mean you now have someone who cares about you? When she says this, she's referring strictly to Adam, who Adam really just wanted her, like, a rock that he could manipulate, even if he himself didn't see it that way. That's kind of probably how Blake still is able to see it, because like the scene in the Adam trailer where he's like, we're out there in battle, things happen, it's kill or be killed. But there was also examples where, like, in the Shani Dust Company, towards the end of the trailer, he didn't kill the person, not because he didn't need to, because Sienna stopped him. He was totally willing to stab and kill the dude who was down. That's not an accident, and that wasn't necessary. He did it because he wanted to do it, because he could, because he just wanted to in general. And that's something that I need to point out about that little scene. But then Blake squeezes Yang's hand, and I feel like this whole situation, obviously to begin with, is taking its toll on her. And Yang being here is kind of helping her a bit. Okay, yeah. And Adam trying to throw this the other way. He's like, Blake made a promise to me too, to stay with me. Look how well that happened. But Yang comes with a great comeback. Well, did she make that promise to you or the person you were pretending to be? Adam wasn't exactly pretending. And he's like, I wasn't good enough for you, and Blake's appropriate. Like, that's not it. That's not all of it. And so they start fighting, I like some of the parallels. Like they call back, the Bumblebee move, where it was originally Blake swinging Yang around, but in this context, it was Yang swinging Blake. And that was really, really cool, and I loved it. And I'm trying so hard not to just sit here and watch this all over again. And the fight was choreographed really cool and nice, and I just liked the dialogue when it came up. This episode wasn't a huge, like during the fights, it wasn't huge dialogue. Because when you think about it, what's happening currently, like Blake getting thrown to the cliff, and her aura breaking, and now she's like hanging. Oh. I think you're faster than you were at Beacon. Adam taunts Yang, and you can see she's shaking. She was affected. She's faltering now. And then when you watch the fight, she has a scared look on her face, and she becomes defensive. She's not throwing punches anymore. She was blocking. She was just trying to keep up. But then she spots Blake, like, pulling a move. She's climbing up. And so now she's just trying to stall for time. So it's different from her split second of, oh my god, no, to, oh wait, I actually have to do this. And Adam goes, what does she even see in you? Well, maybe someone who doesn't really kill for fun. You're just a coward like her. She's this part. I didn't realize she pulled out her semblance at first when I was originally watching this, but when I saw it, it looks... Oh my god, I wish I paused it properly. Oh my god, her semblance, like, it looks amazing, and we haven't seen it this entire volume. Like, her hair, like, she just looks awesome, okay? And, like, her just so confidently, like, through the smoke after blocking it, just went. She played that so well, and she's just gonna punch Adam, and what she says at the end, she's like, I may not be faster, but I'm smarter. She has learned from Volume 4. She's learned from her father. She's taken in her experience and is now like, I can't just throw myself head in first. I actually have to be smart about this. And she kept the sword with her, and she just throws it into the water, which leaves Adam weaponless. And her aura breaks too. So we have a lot of people without their aura currently. But yeah, he panics about the whole sword thing. But this is what leads to Blake knocking him back. But then you see Gamble Shroud's shards, and Adam and Blake dash for it. And then you see Yang running. Blake gets it, and this is where I was shocked. They both stab Adam. They both stab him. And probably the lungs, both of them. And that came to it was a big shock for me. It's like, whoa, they just killed him. Like, I didn't know how else that was going to end, or how that could have ended. but they stabbed him. They actually, like, once again, here's why I'm not like, oh my god, they're cold-blooded murderers. That probably wasn't their plan, especially in a scene that's about to happen, but I want to talk about this really briefly. But they kind of had to, because if Blake didn't get it first, she would have been the one stabbed. This wasn't a moment of, I'm gonna do it. This was a moment of, if I don't, I'm about to die. And this is coming from the person who just says, I have people who care about me. I can't die now. She has reason and resolve to live. She doesn't want to die now. She made a promise to Yang that she wouldn't leave, and she wants to keep it. And so what some of us need to see is, they did totally just, some people are going to be like, they didn't kill him. He's not dead. His body fell in the water. Until we see him actually dead, he's not dead. He was stabbed twice and probably about the lungs. He fell and they made it audible, his fall against the rocks. He didn't just go poof, poof. He didn't just fall into the water. He smacked into that rock before he fell into the water. So he would need a lot of luck. And a lot of people go, oh my god, it's just volume 5 again, like when Cinder was frozen. Now, the reason why I was talking about it in that light is because you guys just... Cinder was frozen. It is still a bit of kind of BS that she lived, but here's the thing, we can kind of be like, well, when you're frozen, I would imagine that all your bodily functions are slowed down as well, like your pulse would be slowed, your blood obviously would be slow. So overall, maybe, just maybe, we could say that for her, whatever. But Adam was stabbed, and then he probably broke bones, or maybe even his spine on the way down before falling into the water. And no one's looking for him. He doesn't have any partners. He doesn't have anyone who would really be like, oh my god, it's Adam, let's save him. Because he technically ran from helping Salem's group. And Cinder already has Neo. And I mean, I can see a possibility where Cinder may be all like, you know what? He could be useful. But I don't think she would do that at this point in time. I just don't. I just had a thought, but I'm hearing my brother in the background. And I'm like... So, another thing. So yeah, once again, right before I continue this, people are going, since, this volume was only having 13 chapters, which is why I'm kind of sad. That means next week, last chapter, which is also why I'm scared. But some people are like, we haven't seen Neo or Cinder interact with them yet. Or we haven't seen them come into action yet. What I'm going to play this off as, though, is what the information they got is that they were heading to Argus, but most people don't stay there, so they're most likely going to. And Blake, I'm still stuck in this fight. Cinder goes Atlas. So if anything, maybe they will run into them and make the situation that's already going on worse. But really, I don't know if they'll show up for the rest of this. Maybe they will, towards the end when they're showing, what the characters are doing, as a setup for Volume 7. But I don't really think we need to see them until Volume 7, only with the fact that right now there's so much going on. Next chapter is going to have a lot to do and so much, and I feel like if they add any more, they're just overcomplicating something. If they do it, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm here for it. But they don't have to, I don't think. This is with Yang meeting back with Blake, just accepting her into the group at the end of Volume 5. Everyone was like, they didn't have a conversation. She just accepted her back into the group. That was too easy. Why didn't they talk about it more? And it's we have Volume 6. We don't... In the last few minutes, we're not just going to have all of a sudden Yang go, no, you can't, And she was on adrenaline, too. There's a lot of aspects that make it understandable why she was yeah. And it's a lot of things. Let's just get back into this. At first, this live stream was a reasonable length, and then now it's a little bit longer than I thought it would be. But yeah, like I said, Adam falls. It's that simple. If he's still alive, I don't know how that works, but okay. But I don't think it's... But Blake breaks down. Okay. Blake breaks down. A lot of people are like, oh, Blake's to blame. She left him. I'm not going to get on this topic a lot, but other reactors have pointed this out. You're victimizing the abuser by using the person who is abused. You're like, I said that 100% wrong. Don't worry, I know it. As I was talking, I'm like, this sounds stupid. I'm saying something wrong. If I said something right, okay, but if I said it wrong, something feels wrong in my head. But you're making Adam seem like the victim, but he was the one abusing Blake. And things like just saying words or putting someone down, manipulating, that's abuse. Just so we have no... Well, I mean, at this point, I would say Adam stabbing Blake. I would say that's physical abuse, too. But, you know, like, there's going to be arguments there, which is why I'm not going to really get into it. I just want to mention that even though he did that to Blake, he did stuff like that to Blake, there was probably moments where he was fine. Like, in Volume 5, Blake said, at first I thought Adam was justice, passion. Like, you know, he was all these good things, meaning that she obviously looked up to him. She had high thoughts on him. She cared about him. And that's not like, yes, she cannot forgive him. And she, at this point, rightfully doesn't want to be anywhere near him. But it doesn't mean a part of her mind remembers those days where things were good. So even though she felt she did what honestly kind of had to be done, it still hurts. And just seeing her cry and like having to have Yang hug her and like just, you know, and like she feels so bad she has to reaffirm to Yang. She's like, I won't break my promise. Yeah. She's like, I'm not going to. Like, imagine the emotional turmoil that's going through her head. Yeah, Yang doesn't have to say much other than, like, I know you won't. Like, that's just, like, the ultimate, I trust you. Okay, let's get back to this. So, now that Cordovan's cannon that was used to defend against big aquatic Grimm is down, she finally calls the others to be like, come help me with these children. But this is where all my fear from the beginning of the episode comes in. They're like, we've been trying to contact you. Argus is in a dire situation. And you see the panic in like just everyone's panicking at the base. And then you look over and you see this huge dot from a mile away and you're like, what the? Hi there, you dragon creepy looking thing. That's honestly my thoughts. Like, Jesus. And then they're like the Leviathan. So a Leviathan Grimm. And like a swarm of Grimm. I didn't pause it, but I'm not going to show a lot. But like a swarm of Grimm just come in. Yeah, the Leviathan. And that's when all of them look over at Cordovan's cannon that's broken. And they're like, we done effed up. And that's where it ends. They have this great setup of, haha, you know, now that the cannon's gone, which Cordovan 100% did have a chance to make sure that didn't happen. But, you know, she let herself get taunted. She decided not to accept any form of retreat. And she was just like, huh, what? Me accept this? Me show you any power over me? No. And then, like, she let Maria distract her from answering an urgent call. So once again, we can be like, oh yeah, no, Maria there, she totally distracted her. She's the one I'd blame. But we also have to give to the fact that, you know, how hard would it have been to, like, as she had that second, she saw that and she could have just went, and then, like, as she heard, like, as she pressed it, I don't know. I just feel like, even though you're getting led on, I feel like to be that high ranking, you have to have like, at least be that like good at your job. You have to at least be like, oh, they're calling me. That has to be urgent. And like, even though you're angry, you're like, that's urgent. that probably means something. And to be fair, RWBY 100% did give Cordovan the ultimate, like, hey, we're not supposed to be fighting each other. You just wouldn't listen to us, and we didn't want to lead to a fight, but you're kind of doing it. Like, this is your final chance. Let's just put this to rest, and let's stop. And it was Cordovan's choice to be like, no. And she was the reason that the canon ultimately met its doom, because she just let her pride and like thoughts get the best of her. She let Maria get into her head. She just became overconfident, kind of like Adam did. Because in a sense, he was kind of being super cocky. He was like, what can you do? But we saw what he can do. I don't even know what to think about the Leviathan Grim. A lot of people are calling it Godzilla. I can kind of see where they're getting the Godzilla, but I'm cool with Leviathan. I think that's cool. I'd rather have it be called the Leviathan than Godzilla. Don't know why. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I want to know what you guys thought on that, but it's just very stressful because, let's go back to the list of people whose aura is down. Let's see. John, Nora, RWBY, Blake, Yang, and Weiss is exhausted, so a lot of the cast is kind of in danger, and we don't even know where everyone else's aura levels are at yet, so it's a dire situation, and I'm very curious, which is another reason why I'm like, they don't need to implement Cinder and Neo in this finale. They don't, because there's already so much to think about and so much to actually have done that if it doesn't happen, I can see that people will definitely be disappointed, but not everyone. And I'm on the understanding side, like, if I don't see them till next volume, okay. Do what you had to do what makes sense. Don't try to overcomplicate things. Don't oversimplify it, but don't overcomplicate it. Both sides are bad. Yeah, there's just so many conflicting thoughts, and I just don't even know what to do anymore. And like recently I've just been thinking about Adam as a character. When I watched it, like you hear me go, I kind of feel bad that he died, but at the same time it's like I don't see any other way of that could have gone. Like, he was so stuck in his ways. He didn't really have much of a chance to turn up. Like, I didn't see him as a character who could be redeemed. A lot of people point this out. I also thought it. I don't think they can really make his character redeemable at all. But it's this thing where it's like you just either you don't want to see your main characters kill someone, but you also, or you just in general don't want to see his character die, or you're on the side of the people going, oh, that was a waste of his character. He could have been so much more. But something I noticed and something a lot of other people notice is it's like his arc is kind of like, it seems like this is where it could end. Like, and if it didn't end in this chapter, it definitely would have ended relatively soon. I didn't see them dragging it on. It would have been cool hearing more about his backstory, like how he got the brand, like when he got it, that would have been cool. But at the same time, I don't think that would have been, that would be enough to carry his character along. Because the reason why his character was even here in the first place was Blake. And as you can tell, she's obviously kind of just like done with Adam at this point. The only reason why she fears him is just because when she's alone, he would definitely win. But now she has the light of, I'm not alone. I have Yang. I have my team. I have my friends. I'm not alone. So that kind of like makes him having this, like, so many people are angry, like thinking he's so much weaker now. But in reality, think about it like this. If RWBY's like about 17 now in the story, she's like 17 apparently. That means they've had what, like 2 years to get stronger, and they're stronger, and it's not a one-on-one fight. It's 2v1. For us, yeah, maybe the fight's been going on for 3 chapters, but the chapters aren't long, so maybe about 15-20 minutes, maybe. Don't exactly check me on that. I don't know, but some people commenting the fight was too short. 3 chapters. It just feels like it's short because reasons I don't know. I think it's been going on for a long time, and but one of the biggest things that Adam had in his arsenal was the fact that he can intimidate people, that people were scared of him. But now that Blake isn't scared of him and that Yang, has a purpose and adrenaline, people are annoyed with the PTSD thing. They're like, oh, it was so wonky, or it wasn't like, used to its most power. There was a whole bunch of adrenaline, and adrenaline does push you through things. And when it wears off, that's when things really start to hit. As I mentioned when I was rewatching it, so I can iterate what I thought about specific scenes. When Adam was like, "Do you think you're faster than you were at Beacon?" She faltered. She not only was shaking, she went to the straight just defensive. She was just she wasn't going ha ha ha. She was blocking. She was kind of almost just trying to get away. That was a sign of no. They had a specific point on her, a look on her face in one of the quick little screen flashbys. She looked terrified. It was there. It's just if you weren't looking for it, or you just didn't care or think that was long enough, you'll probably not notice it. But it's just they didn't completely gloss over PTSD, and not everyone's PTSD is the same. It's just a thing that is definitely complicated. I don't know. I have this thing with the ocean. I've had a few talked about it, and from people who have said they experience it, they have it, they know what it's like. They explain that not everyone has levels. Everyone has levels of it. It's not just oh, one person has this. Go to volume 4 really quick. Yang drops the glass. She's immobilized. She's scared. She's just done. She's in too much shock, too much stress to do anything. And then once she rose from that, volume 5, you see she's becoming a little bit more confident. She's becoming her, normal self. She's just I'm getting to RWBY. And once she got to RWBY, the next episode, we see her joking around with everyone. We see even though she's still I'm sticking here if RWBY's sticking here. She's still she's becoming herself again. She accepts Blake back, and they do have strained moments, and they do have conversations that sometimes ended badly. But you can see she was getting better. And with Adam, there was a whole bunch of adrenaline, and just seeing her fight through it. And it wasn't it wasn't there, but you could see that she wasn't the completely scared, couldn't do anything, immobilized person anymore. She was trying to confront it. It was still getting to her, but she was doing her best not to let it be that bad. She saw Blake climbing up. She knew something was going on, and she didn't want Adam to see Blake. So even though she was scared, she kept working for it. That was all I was trying to get to. I'm sorry I went on a rant about the ocean and a little bit of stories that's happened to me that's kind of ruined the beach for me. But, it's just a thing that is what it is. I don't know. I just love Team RWBY. I love the rest of Team Juniper. I love Pyrrha. It's just, I don't know. I can't call Team Juniper anymore without mentioning Pyrrha. It's just this thing that's happened since Volume 5. Oh, by the way, the song that came up in Chapter 11, people are some people are mentioning, they're what if Ironwood comes back with Penny 2.0? Because in the song it goes like a puppet without us. It's just something that kind of almost referenced Penny perfectly. And it's what we all have to remember is technically they shouldn't be able to create penny again, like as in like the penny we all knew. But they can't technically make a penny, just wouldn't be the same. So like I feel like if they ultimately do create another penny and we still have to call her Penny, I will be a little angry. It's like, you're not Penny. But like, you know, maybe if they somehow do manage to make Penny, who is the same in all aspects other than the fact that the one true Penny sadly passed in volume 3. Okay, but it's like a little weird. So I can understand the theory, but at the same time I'm like, I don't know if that will happen. I could see them making someone like Penny, but I don't know if they'd really try going for another Penny per se. Just a little statement there. Unless there was a reason why Penny was made to look the way she was, like if there was like a reason behind it, I don't know. It's just a little thought. Like I don't see it happening that way. And yeah, even though I could probably go on and on like about this topic, if my sister was here, I probably would be having a long debate with her about it. It's just, something I want to briefly mention. I do ship Bumblebee. I will stay on the neutral side and stay away from, you know, screaming joys of, you know, some people screaming it's canon. Because, once again, I'm standing on the neutral side. No matter how you look at it, they do care about each other. I'm not going to say in the romantic sense, and I'm not just going to be all like, oh no, in the partner sense. I'm just saying they care about each other. That much is certain, okay? We're going to chill about that part. They for sure at least care about each other. And, you know, a lot of people go, I don't see where that's coming from. They're just great friends. I can see where you're standing on that front. But there have been moments where, like, you could be like, oh, that's just Yang being Yang. But actually go back to it and see how much Yang does that to people she's friends with. She doesn't do it much with people she's friends with. If anything, she jokingly does it to people she doesn't know. Like, in Chapter 3 of RWBY, Volume 1. Ruby's like, I don't think Dad would appreciate all the boys, though. Yang goes, I know I do. But like something I never caught when she saw Blake, she was because of RWBY, she was like, you know her, and she looked at RWBY really quick, but then she looked back at Blake and smirked, and then she was like, well, time to go. Like, you know, like there's little tiny things, and just the way they are as a whole. Whether you ship it or not, you have to admit they are close. I'm never going to be like, they're for sure together until it's like somewhat confirmed. Like somewhat. A lot of people will be like, it is somewhat confirmed right now. But once again, I kind of just want to be here and be like, I can see it is. In my mind, heart, and soul, they may as well be somewhat confirmed. But I don't want to be on the receiving end of some stuff that I feel like will be coming. I don't see why it's such a big deal for the people who are angry about it. It's not like Yang and Blake, if they get together. It's not like if they get together, it's going to ruin the show. And if you let it ruin the show, then I don't really think you were in it for the show. Oh, hello, one person who came in. Nice to see you. It's been a while since... Oh, yeah, gone. But... yeah, I can understand why they'd leave, though. It's been a while. But, yeah. Anyways, I think I'm going to end this here, mainly because it's longer than my actual reaction. And secondly, I just don't want to get further involved in this Bumblebee thing. I already made my thoughts on, like, kind of the RWBY shipping fandom of Volume 6 right now already. Don't want to get involved with that much further, but, oh man, this chapter was scary, intense, and just worrisome for the next one, but I don't even know anymore. It's very violent. How they'll perceive a lot of the characters not having any aura anymore, I don't know, but we'll just have to see how that works out. So, until that chapter, I'm signing out, and if I actually live stream my thoughts on the finale, I will probably be doing it immediately after recording my reaction to it, meaning I'll probably be either a crying or screaming mess. We'll see which one it is. Anyways, hope you enjoyed, and it has been an interesting talk. And yeah, it was just interesting live streaming again. And I know this is a channel that has literally almost no subscribers, so it was interesting to see people even found the stream in the first place. But to those 2 people who did quickly drop in and not immediately, but pretty fast dropped out, it's fine. I can understand, especially because it was at the end of this chat. But anyways, hope any of you who have watched this have a great day or night. Sorry for my mid-time rant. I will probably ultimately put a thing where it's like skips over that in the comments. I don't know. I will. We'll see. But anyway, see you guys. And thank you guys for watching if you do.